Hey gang, it's Patrick. Welcome back. Finally getting this up and done. It's been a while. I know that. Sorry. One of the things I'm kind of scared to do is start getting into the weeds and this and getting way behind because I am easily distracted. Ask anybody who knows me. So, for those who have been keeping up, I will post a link in the description. But I got the initial captain's log and the teaser up on Archive of Our Own. Like I said, I'll put the link in the description. But if you will indulge me for a moment. Still have not determined a title for this, so it's still title to be determined, but Captain's Log, Stardate 868250.4. The Seneschal is en route to New Zindus in the Panassa Beta system in the Alpha Quadrant. On arrival there, the ship will host a reception and signing ceremony to formally welcome the Zindi back into the Federation. To this end, we have a diplomatic team on board, led at Federation President Rillick's insistence by the Secretary of State, Nashil Jav Kutok. Secretary Kutok has been working on getting the Zindi back into the Federation for 3 years, since before Discovery solved the mystery of the burn. In fact, she asked us to bring a supply of dilithium along with us as a welcoming gift. Lieutenant Commander Jalbrock informs me that at present speed, we should arrive at New Zindus in just under 2 days. There's that. I'm not going to read the whole teaser. I will let you, excuse me. I will let you read that on your own if you are so inclined. Up at Archive of Our Own. So, what we're going to be doing today is mostly getting some more of the details and stuff taken care of, because we just kind of skipped past that. For instance, ship idiosyncrasy. I figured this thing is over 100 years. It's going to have something worth noting. So, to that end, let us find the ship idiosyncrasy table. Yeah, I've been looking at some of the rules for the 32nd century ships because they do things a little differently. Just saw it a minute ago. There they are. Okay, ship idiosyncrasies. It's a 1d20 table. Let's just see what weirdness accompanies our starship. I rolled a 2. When the ship accelerates past warp 4, artificial gravity cuts out for a microsecond. That's got to be a little on the annoying side. Sure, let's do that. Let me copy and paste that into idiosyncrasy. Okay, so let's paste that in here. That ought to be fun to try to explain to your guests as you're getting up to speed. So, when the ship accelerates past warp 4, the artificial gravity cuts out for a microsecond. Okay. Oh yeah, here's a couple things that I tweaked. One of our commenters said, why not Mads Mikkelsen for the chief engineer? I said, hey, sure, I'm all for that. I can't think of anybody better. And while they had suggested instead of Allison Hannigan using Melissa Rausch for the voice of Commander Sarah, our security officer, who, as you may or may not recall, is half Gorn and half Saurian. I figure she's about 6'9", or thereabouts. And while the concept of Bernadette from Big Bang Theory voicing this mountain of menace was amusing, I didn't quite see it as clearly as my friend Doug did, but he did give me an idea for a very contrasty voice there. And right here, Ivana Lynch, who played Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter movies. Also a very tiny individual voicing an extremely large character. Okay, so we've got our mission type. We have set course to in the narrative. We've set course to. I'm going to highlight this to investigate our temporal anomaly. I want to highlight that so as I'm flipping through, I won't forget that it's there. All right, so the scarred remains of a Klingon vessel lie perilously close to a deep space station. Which led me to the questions of what kind of a Klingon ship was it? Where did it come from? What time period did it come from? Since we're playing with a temporal anomaly, it's very likely to have come from the past. So we're going to need to figure out what kind of a Klingon ship is it. So I'm going to create a little bit of room here. Oh, let me backtrack for a second. Someone asked how I came up with the genders for my crew, and guy Christopher Curtin on the Facebook STA group suggested this, and it worked well enough for me. So, voila, there's that. Very easy. 1 to 9 male, 10 to 18 female, 19-20 non-binary. And by that I mean whatever you want. I'm not going to pretend that I understand any of that well enough to get it across with any degree of knowledge, grace, or anything else. So I'm just not going to mess with it a lot, to be honest with you, because I don't want to screw it up. I'm just going to do as good as I can. But that's the table that I use. Okay, back to our Klingon ship. One of my things that I was doing in my online, my real life campaign before it went poof, was I was working on a the game was very Klingon heavy. We were set in 2295, and we were dealing with the first Khitomer Accords. And so what I did was I came up with a table of all the Klingon space frames that we had seen. The Klingon core book came out during the campaign, and then towards the end, the Discovery campaign guide came out. So I created a chart for my own use, which I have just realized I didn't quite complete, because then I need to go through and find scales for all these. But first, I'm going to how many of these do we have? So I've got D20s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 20, 30, 29. Okay. So it would probably help if I knew what era the ship was coming in from. So I can figure out which ships are likely to have still been in service. Let's get back into the captain's log rules and find the okay, here it is. The random era matrix for starships. Let's figure out what era our ship came from. 13. The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Lower Decks. Okay. So that leaves actually a surprising number of ships, because a whole lot of ships were still in service in the 2360s and 2370s, even those from the 23rd century. So let's... Okay. The Josh class battle cruiser and the Charg class battle cruiser. Probably get rid of, just because there weren't, no, really, delete the entire row. Do what I'm thinking, not what it looks like I want you to do. Delete row. And they have a significant overlap with the D7 and the Katinga, which we also know to be... Okay, so... Now we'll keep the civilian transports in there. Keep those two. You want to keep the shuttle pod? Sure, why not? Okay, so we got boom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 20. Ooh. Ships even into the 2180s. Oh, sure, what the heck. So from the class assault ship all the way down to a Negvar class warship. I'm glad I didn't have to make anything else up. Alright, I'll worry about the scale. I'll fill that in later off camera. Let me turn this into a D20 table, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's that. Okay, yeah, some of these are big. I mean, I'm pretty sure I remember that being a scale 5. The Vorcha, I think, is a 5. The Negvar's a 6. Most of these, except that the shuttle pod's probably just a 2, but most of these are 4s, I think. Okay, well, let's go. Okay, dice into the handy die tower. 19, a Vorcha attack cruiser. Okay, So we have got that. It is Vor. Hit the right key, Patrick. Learn to type. Only been doing this for 45 years. Vorcha. Class. Let's hack. Circa. Now they first started deploying those in the late 2360s, so we'll see. It's after circa the 2370s. Don't know for sure. Where it came from is an even bigger question. It's probably something we'll have to solve along the way. Okay. So, one thing that I forgot to mention during the narrative, I didn't even mention the space station that the scarred remains of this Vorcha are perilously close to. So let's since I did not mention that, is my temporal anomaly skipping around? Was it where we found it in the narrative, or has it been flipping around like an unstable wormhole? Well, that's why we have a yes-no probability matrix. I'm going to say it's 50-50, so 1 to 10, yes. It has been. 11 through 20, no, it's been stationary. I rolled a 4, so yes, it has been moving around. Shifting positions at random intervals. Okay. And I know in the narrative I made it a pretty good size. Want to say yeah, about 2 kilometers in diameter. So it's a big hole in space-time. Diameter, shifting positions at random intervals. And when it gets in the general neighborhood of this space station, which we're going to have to deal with here in just a moment, I think it's going to spit out these scarred remains of a Klingon Vorcha class attack cruiser. But we'll get to that in a minute. I knew we were going to have an ambassador who I decided in the midst of writing the narrative and the captain's log was actually going to be the Secretary of State, because this is a big deal to the Federation. In fact, I need to down some of my questions. Why is Zindi joining Federation such a big deal to her? That's a question I'll have to get to later. Alright, but I needed... The only thing I've really done here was... for her and the station commander, I had gone so far as to figure out gender and species, and I realized I really needed to do some of the rest of this on camera for the benefit of the game. So here we are. But I knew she was a female Tellurite. I went to the Star Trek Adventures Core Rulebook and looked up the naming conventions they had listed for Tellurites and just basically pulled the name out of the book. Now, the station commander, that's going to be something else entirely. But I know she's a female Tellurite. I don't know who she's played by yet. Although when I get ready to deal with that, I'll have to come up with an actress and cast her. But let us get into some of our NPC stuff. Her upbringing and her cultural traits. Okay. That is back in... That is back here. I should really bookmark this a little better, but that seems a lot like work. So here's generating mission types. I'm not worried about that right now. We are finding NPCs. Alright. I'm going to skip the archetypes for right now because, well, they're not a big deal. I know one of them is an ambassador and the other one's a space station commander. Not quite to the... One of my problems is if I start randomizing everything, I will start getting lost in the tables and I will never get anything done because I know me. So we're going to skip that, but character's upbringing. All right. The Secretary of State, I rolled a 14. A multi-species starbase. Interesting. So what was the culture like there? Not necessarily Tellurite cultural traits. These are the traits that she grew up with on the aforementioned. So let's see what it was, and she decide whether or not she accepted it or rebelled against it. Knowledge. Rolled a 12. Yeah, I think she accepted that one. What are her goals? Right. Well, that doesn't make sense. She's not military. I roll rise to the military ranks. Let's try that one again. Earn fame. Well, she's the Secretary of State of the Federation, but yeah, I can see that. So, goals to earn fame, which may answer this question right here. We'll have to find out, but tactics, alrighty. Now let's see how she goes about things. 16, science. Science. What is her outlook on the Federation? Okay, now for the Federation outlook. What is her opinion of the United Federation of Planets? Like I say, she's the Secretary of State. I'm hoping it's something good. Alright, and rolled a 16, respecting. Which is probably a good thing to have if you are a high-ranking official in the cabinet of this organization. So let's... Alright. We already determined that it is a Federation space station. There's a defense outpost, secure trade locations. Okay. I need to come up with a name for it. Alright, it's it was probably put along a trade route to protect against the Emerald Chain and other pirates. Commercial route, CR Defense Post. Probably number 19. Commercial route defense post 19. Alright. What do we gotta do to make a starbase? We want to generate a star. So here's my ship's backstory. I really need to sit down and do this. That may be what our next session is. Starbase or station. Okay, select the station's scale. Assign a number for your station's scale. The smallest star bases, such as regular 1, are scale 6. DS9 Narendra, scale 12. You know, I am going to say, for the sake of making things easy on myself, not that much anymore. That was... I do need to remember what this is for, though. Scale 12. Base talents. A space station may have a number of talents up to half of its scale rounded down. Okay. Well, for this, I think we will make this a random. We'll go here to the Starship Talent Matrix. We need 3d20 for this. $29. Extensive shuttle bays. All right. Three. A blade of armor. Guess they're used to getting shot at. Of course, it's a commercial defense outpost, so I guess that's not a huge surprise. It's 2 out of 6. 11. Advanced sensor suites. Save this while I'm thinking about it, because I've been typing an awful lot. I'd hate to lose this. Okay. 3 out of 6, because it's half the scale. So with a scale 12 station, it's 6. Dual environment. Wonder. Worry about that later. Just know that's what we've got. So dual environment. Electronic warfare systems. Okay. One more. Automated defenses. Probably not a bad thing. Sort those out. Like that. Fold it up. Scale. Okay, so we have got our 6 talents. If you're wondering why I'm going to all this trouble for something that may not continue to appear, I don't know. I might be making a return visit to this place since I'm doing some world building. I may as well keep keep it open. Okay, so let's there we go. Alright. Selected the scale, you've chosen its talents. Remaining components. Note the following additional components. Traits. We'll always have a trait that reflects Federation. So it's a Federation Starbase. And defense outposts. Those are the two things I'm going to worry about right now. It's got a name. We'll give it its traits. Worry about support vessels later when we begin interacting with it, because right now it's not our home base. Alright, let's put the trait down for CR Defense Post 19. Traits. Alright, it is a Federation Starbase. And it is a defense outpost. Alrighty, so there is that. Now the station commander. We know that she's a female synth. Now, what exactly does that mean in the 32nd century? So let's, these are some of the questions I came up with. Was she like a Soong type android? Was she more like Soji, indistinguishable from a human? Is she a hologram? And I'm going to kind of go back. It's cheating a little bit, but for purposes of figuring that out, since I don't have a good answer yet, I figure Soong type androids still exist, but they're probably not nearly as common as the more human-like, especially with all the. So we're going to say that 1920 is Soong type android data like. We'll say that 1 through 9 is like Soji and Daj, and 10 to 18 is a hologram. So I rolled an ace, so she's matches whatever species we come up with here in a minute, because we don't know. It's kind of arrogant to say they're all human, but we do know that in our notes. So let's, since I used the next gen tables for my crew, that will work for determining our station commander. Missing anything there? No, just a cool illustration. Okay. Station was easy enough. Let's get back. Stop that. Alright, random species by era. And while we are right, yeah, we're gonna roll on the next gens, but we can roll on all three of these if we want to. So if we don't like what comes up, we can just choose a different. So here we go. Alright, we rolled a 7. Cybernetically enhanced human or a hologram? And we've already determined that she's a Soji-like synth. So let's go with she looks like a human. Presents as human. All right. Do they build them? Has she been? Surely she hasn't been around for 800 years. No, she hasn't. They built in safeties, I'm sure. But okay, so let's see. She was raised. Since it is a Federation starbase, I'm going to say it's a foregone conclusion that she is a Starfleet officer. So I'm not even going to mess with that at this point. Empty space. Let's save this. Female synth presents as human. Okay. And then let's get back into the rules and figure out a few things about her. So I'm not going to worry about archetype. I know which. So let's figure out where she was brought up. I mean, unlike some, I'm sure she knows she's a synth. I'm sure she came online somewhere. She grew up or came online at a shipyard. Interesting. Roll the 17, shipyard. No, I don't need that bowl. Shipyard. What kind of a culture did they have at this shipyard? What? Her cultural background. It's interesting. She grew up in the arts. And that's a weird route into Starfleet. Did she reject or accept? I don't know. 50-50 on the yes-no probability matrix. 17. No, she did not accept it. She rejected her background. Goals. What are her goals? find a deity? She's looking for God? Interesting. What are her tactics? Well, let's find out, shall we? "15. Sacrifice self." Selg. There we go. Finally, what is her outlook on the Federation? "20. Welcoming." Welcoming. And save. It's Federation of Starbase. She's a Federation. I'm going to say she's a commander. No idea what name she's chosen. And honestly, I'm not fond of the name generator for character names. I mean, it can come in handy for planets and alien cultures and things of that nature, but I'm not personally too wild about it for characters. I may wind up going back and doing that anyway. Don't know. But, I think that's all we're going to do today. I'll come up with a name. I will cast these two. Next time we convene, we are going to start working on what some of this could mean and get into a lot more work on some of these probability matrices, because this is kind of neat. I kind of enjoyed this. So that's it for this time around. Guys, thanks for coming by. If you're interested in helping out the channel, be sure to subscribe, like the video, pass the link to your friends. You can go ahead and use some of the links in my in the description here. They're affiliate links on DriveThruRPG. It'll get me some store credit on DriveThruRPG. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for being patient with me as we work on getting things moving along. Live long and prosper, everybody. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.